millions of people can transform the world. A pleasant good morning to all present here. Distinguished Chief Guest Professor Renu Singh, the Director Amarpal Singh, Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, New Delhi, our illustrious and dynamic Pro Vice Chancellor and Dean Law College, Dehradun, Professor Rajesh Boguna, Principal Law College, Dehradun, Professor Poonam Rawat, Registrar of the University, Dr. Anuj Kumar Rana, Director Students Affairs and IT Services, Dr. Abhishek Joshi sir, Chairs of the technical sessions, Dr. V.P. Pawar, Dr. Shama Gupta, Dr. Neelam Rawat, Dr. Shika Dimri, Director Research, Professor Rajesh Singh, Dean Student Welfare, Professor Shravan Kumar, faculty members of Uttaranchal University, and my dear students. I, Dr. V. Bhuvaneshwari, and Dr. Shikha Unyan, on behalf of Law College Dehradun, take pleasure in extending a warm welcome to the two-day national conference InnoSustain 2023, Pursuit for Sustainable Development Goals, held at Devbhoomi of Uttarakhand, Dehradun. We are absolutely delighted to extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to all the dignitaries as you all have graced us with your presence today. Your arrival is truly the highlight of a day. We cannot express how thrilled we are to have you here with us. Now, I would like to request the Chancellor of Uttaranchal University, Mr. Jiten Joshi, sir, to felicitate Chief Guest of the Day, Dr. Renu Singh. To felicitate the keynote speaker, Professor Amarpal Singh. Thank you, sir. Now, may I request our Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Rajesh Boguna, to felicitate our session chairs and reviewers of the conference with bouquets. First, I request Dr. Shama Gupta, scientist, Indian Institute of Remote Sensing, Dehradun, to come on the stage. Now I would like to call upon Professor Pradeep Suri, Dean Uttaranchal Institute of Management, to kindly accept the felicitation. He is a reviewer of our committee. Next, I call upon Dr. V.P. Pawar, scientist and head Ecology and Climate Change Division, FRI, to come on the stage. Thank you, sir. I would request Professor Jagmola, Dean, Uttaranchal Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, to kindly accept our felicitation. Their room and kindly request her to come on the stage to accept the felicitation. Dignitaries. Now, I would like to request everyone to
विश्वविद्यालय हो हिमालय हो ये स्वतंत्रालय हो गंगा साय दीक्षालय हो यह दीक्षालय हो अभिषेक का यह शीर्षालय हो उच्च कोटि विद्या का यह अंकितालय हो गौरव अभिषेक का यह शीर्षालय हो उच्च कोटि विद्या का यह अंकितालय हो सर्वधर्म सद्भाव का देवालय हो राष्ट्र हिंद के हृदय में अनुराधालय हो चिर विजय जितेंद्रिय विश्व में प्रभु यह उत्तरांचल विश्वविद्यालय हो यह उत्तरांचल विश्वविद्यालय हो यह उत्तरांचल विश्वविद्यालय हो
Ladies and gentlemen, once again a warm welcome to the highly anticipated national conference where brilliant minds from across the nation have gathered to exchange ideas, to discuss great shape.
Amar Pal Singh ji, Principal, Law College Dehradun, also Poonam Rao, other guests of the conference, my deans, HODs Research and Innovation, faculty members are here to inaugurate a national conference on sustainable development. IPR is one of the areas which can be taken care by the legal experts and they can find out a new opportunity. Now we see the rapid growth of the And we are finding a member, expert in legal. We all have the responsibility to serve. The important point is highest in Uttarakhand are actively participating in our about 60 patients is related to sustainable under this idea of or even climate, climate. Related to sustainable development goals. And the most important point which is related to sustainable innovation is that university is one of the most innovative eco-sustainability. On these goals, as well as and research is also being conducted by the university, renewable energy storage, green build to improve the quality of life. We are establishing a other our future generations can say development country. The electricity journey. But if you see the worldwide hanging reach to that, so can we think the required energy which they are looking for? I think we all remember in India itself in 2004 there was a tsunami in Chennai and thousands of people died. Similarly, there of 2011 again in Japan, again a tsunami was in Bangkok, in Sri Lanka in 2016, again it was there. There was a lot of floods was there, and a heat wave in Europe, which killed, died, the persons, thousands of persons died in these disaster activities. And there was a financial loss to the countries, to the world, billions. So why we should not take very seriously? I want to know that energy consumption per capita is one of the major concerns. And if you talk about per capita, per year, and if you talk about the world like Canada, maybe or US, they are consuming around 10 times more than that. So it means that our responsibility is more as compared to those because at least it is that if I am going to consume more energy generation, more utilization. So I suggest to all my students and participants that we think something new resources like one of the resource we are talking now, hydrogen. So let us think something and then we make a legal framework for such kind of utilization of such resources, how they can be helpful to the mankind, the human. I think we all know the major concerns of climate of this earth are greenhouse effect and global warming, ozone layer depletion, acid rain, deforestation, loss of biodiversity, water pollution, waste disposal, radiation, and climate change. I think climate change is one of the major concern for Uttarakhand because we have the Himalaya, and if there is change in temperature, perhaps the Himalayas, the nature of the Himalaya will be going to change. Similarly, if you talk about the agricultural yields, that is also going to change, and perhaps we may for like the hunger. So that's why one of the points, one of the agenda is zero hunger, well-being. SDG 17. And the most important point is should we develop for the university, also I request Division of Research and Innovation, can we develop for the university one environment performance index. So if we want to improve this environment, I feel once we do these things, legal education, students in the legal education, my expectations from you, can you share your outcomes with different concerned agencies? So that they can think what we have said to them, what we have proposed for them. And the second most important is, can we develop this with the help of other schools, the framework for the sustainable development goals, legal framework, should not be just framework, a legal framework for sustainable development goals. I think anything we all know. And he is only known for one task, and which he did for the ताजमहल and Yumna. Air pollution. Should cite us, refer us in different conferences like INF. Should cite us to refer us at different knowledge. And I feel the university, my faculty, my students,
convener of this national body legal platform of the state 50 years service
President Rajesh 2023 a pursuit for sustainable development goals organized. I welcome all the delegates. There is a unprecedented state in our life. But we could not do because the place was not suitable. We wanted to have because at one date we are at the brink of the global transformation.
May I request Dr. Weber Munyan to join the dignitaries on the stage. I would like to extend my heartiest gratitude to the reviewers and the academicians and scholars for the invaluable contribution as abstract to the field of research. Now, I would like to call upon the Vice President of University, Dr. Satbir Singh Sehgal, for his insightful address.
Thank you, professors. Respected Chancellor of the University, Shri Jitendra Joshi ji, the Chief Guest of the day, Professor Renu Singh, Director and Vice Chancellor, Forest Research Institute, the Guest of Honor, Dr. D.P. Unniyal, Joint Director, UCOAST, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Dharamuddi, my colleague, Professor Rajesh Bahuguna, the Deans, HODs, students, the participants of this conference, we welcome for this important day. Especially when we have seen that there are around 195 recognized sovereign countries, and every country is working in this important domain of SDGs. I hope everyone knows that there are around 17 goals and 169 targets, which are the quantitative factors where the researchers, the innovators and the scientists and the general public all are working in order to attain these. And especially in India, where we have seen that there is a notable progress, especially to remove the poverty, to give clean water and sanitation, and gender equality. But there are other challenges too, especially in the area of healthcare, education, climate action, reducing inequalities, and so many others. The 17th goal, which says that partnership where these either institutions or organizations have to do all together to attain and work in this important domain of SDGs. Giving and sharing some statistical data, our Honorable Vice Chancellor has also shared that the university has more than 300 plus research publications in this important domain of SDGs. And similarly, if we collect the data from 2015 to 2022, that is around 7 years, and put the keyword of SDG in the Scopus Index journals, there are close to around 12,176 research papers, where there are around 45,000 authors who have contributed and cited around 189 citations in together. So a lot of work has already been done, but it is not enough. And especially where the young participants are already here, and I know that there are students who are also listening the proceedings and this conference. The important domain which is unexplored at this moment is the area of startups, where a lot of things we can do, especially if we pick these 16 SDGs. And what we have seen, especially when we see the topic and the title of this conference, which indicate that it is the combination of innovations and clubbing it to the important domain of these 17 SDGs. Giving some examples, especially when we say the digital world, where we have seen that now these paper currencies has converted into digital currencies, the mobile banking and fintech is an example of innovation. And especially when we see that if we go in this domain of mobile computing and fintech, the SDGs which are linked are especially the first one, no poverty, and even the decent work and economic growth, that is SDG 8. We have also seen that nowadays donations and even poverty people, that is the beggars, also sometimes have these QR codes, right? They say that, okay, if you want to donate, kindly use this. So that is the innovation which has also come into the picture. And especially when we see that India, where it is an agriculture dominant country, the precision agriculture, especially where the usage of drones, sensors and data analytics, where our research team is already working with our DRI, lot of student involvement is there, is also linked with the SDG 2, which indicates that the objective is to have zero hunger. Important vertical, again as an education institution, where lot of things we can introduce. I think like in 2020, the first IIT who have introduced a course on SDG, the IIT Guwahati. And even I know my colleague, Honorable Vice Chancellor, has already said that we are also in that direction of introducing such electives which are linked with these SDGs. The objective here, especially the deliberations which are going to occur in this one-day conference, the outcomes are all these things where we have to work, and especially the domain of startups, the innovations, where the university and the whole the team of this conference is what our Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor and the convener of this team has said, the expected outcomes out of this conference. With this, once again, I congratulate the team and lot of learnings which all of us are going to have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful address. Constitutional law from MS University Ajmer with work to his credit, which includes 4 books and more than 60 research articles published in journals of national and international ranking. He is a life member of Indian Law Institute, New Delhi, Indian Institute of Public Administration, New Delhi, and an associate member of Indian Society of International Law. I take the pleasure to invite Professor Amarpal Singh to deliver his keynote address.
Honorable Chancellor, Shri Jitendra Joshi ji, Honorable Professor Renu Singh ji, Director and Vice Chancellor of Forest Research Institute, Dehradun, respected Dr. Satbir Singh ji Sehgal, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Uttaranchal University, Professor Dhanbuddhi ji, Professor Unyal, the guest of honor for the day, Joint Director U Coast Uttarakhand, Professor Rajesh Bahuguna ji, Pro Vice Chancellor and Dean of Law Faculty of this university, very distinguished learned colleagues from across the country participating in this conference, learned colleagues from faculty colleagues from this university, and student friends. The function of the keynote speaker is to highlight the contours of the conference and elaborate the direction in which the discussion is to proceed. So, I was talking to the Honorable Vice Chancellor, half of the work he has already done. My work is half done already. Professor Bahuguna was talking about the turning point, almost a cusp on which the humanity stands today. Friends, at the very outset, before I proceed with the subject, I would like to put on record my to the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, the team of organizers for inviting me and permitting me to share some of my views with this August reference. We as humans and you through a very crucial phase of our lives. I would call it almost a paradigmatic moment, if I put it this way. In fact, this reminds me that sociologist Alvin Toffler, who talks about future shock, in which he talks about the nature of change process that confronts. So it's not the change that is happening, which is obviously the rule, as we generally say that everything changes except the rule of change. But basically what is happening is that the speed of change, the pace of change is increasing almost at an exponential rate. It's almost a cascading effect that it has on us. And as Toffler talks about it, sometimes this future hits us at our face with so much of ferocity that we are turned almost stunned in reacting to it. That is the kind of a time frame we are confronting at the moment. And the kind of challenges that we face at the moment obviously are enormous. I don't have to remind about these challenges to this august audience, but nevertheless, like for reference. Things like climate change, global warming, terrorism, and things like hunger, poverty, which unfortunately continues with us, basic necessities of life process, like clean drinking water, sanitation, health concerns, healthcare, for example, lack of employment opportunities, lack of justice, equality, for example, continues to be a challenge for us. And as some people allege, democratic backsliding, a weakening of democratic institutions. These are the challenges. We as conscious members of academic community would appreciate it that if these challenges are actually not addressed, they might turn into huge tragedies in the making. Friends, this kind of a dawn of realization had happened years back, and it was in the wake of Rio plus 20, when we saw that MDGs are closing in 2015 and we are nowhere near achieving those goals. So in 2012, we started this initiative of SDGs, which actually culminated in 2015 SDG goals that we generally talk about. As Professor Sehgal was talking about, 17 goals and 169 targets. Now, if you look at the major objectives of this SDGs, if I look into some of the issues quickly to summarize it, it basically attacks the key systemic barriers, or seeks to attack the key systemic barriers that are there in the process of that sustainable development. Things like inequality, poverty, unsustainable consumption patterns, unsustainable production patterns, inadequate infrastructure, lack of decent jobs, so on and so forth. In fact, in the development process, the sustainable development goals provide us useful guidance for shaping up the law and policies, and of course practices for implementation of effective and ambitious climate change action, which continues to be a major challenge that we face as humanity today. It in fact promotes global cooperation and solidarity for the purpose of achieving these challenges. Sustainable development goals, in brief, provide a solid blueprint for governments and corporate systems, and obviously the citizens worldwide, to achieve peace and prosperity. Because without peace, there cannot be a sustainable development, and without sustainable development, there cannot be a peace. As simple as this. In fact, the rallying cry of sustainable development goals is that nobody should be left out. Leave no one behind is what the rallying cry of this movement is. And this rallying cry has moved the sustainable development agenda at the center stage. In fact, a number of SDGs that cross-cut the focus on inequality and several other things. In fact, one can discern the philosophy of this sustainable development goals in almost every single effort that we make today. Look at the G20 process. The almost unmixed focus was there on global South agenda. There were other things, of course, but global South agenda dominated the whole process. In fact, we at our own level, at the national level, have been trying to assimilate the sustainable development goals in our own process. For example, national education policy is an attempt at concretizing goal number 4. And then if you look at other things that we have been doing, Niti Aayog has evolved, a SDG India Index. Sustainable Development Goals India Index, for the purpose of monitoring and evaluating the developmental efforts at all levels of implementation process. Friends, if you look at the time frame, 2015-2030, we almost stand midway today. Exactly 7.5 years almost. And if we look at the progress made, no argument would convince us that we are anywhere near the goals. Half of the time is gone. In fact, poverty and hunger continues to beset us all the time. And the worst thing is that the consensus of the international community on this subject is missing, particularly in global warming and climate change process. Something that was agreed to way back in Copenhagen. I mean, even now, the global south demands as to what we have done, $100 billion that they were supposed to contribute. I mean, how much has been done? So actually there is a huge gap in what we said for ourselves some 7-8 years back and what exactly remains to be achieved in the remaining time frame. How do we achieve these sustainable goals? In fact, this conference talks about half a dozen strategies. In fact, I was looking at the themes of the conference, goals that we are talking about. Presents is actually obviously may not be possible to cover every aspect of it, but I shall be covering at least 4 or 5 major issues, which are the focus of this InnoSustain themes that I read in the brochure. IPR, sir has already introduced, but nevertheless, a passing reference, that IPR is basically an instrument of securing monopoly over innovation process and the developmental goods that it generates. But we need to remember it, that IPR systems exist to create an enabling environment. In fact, they are the mechanisms to spur growth. They stimulate investment and innovation, of course. And without this IPR system, the kind of challenge that we face is almost impossible to confront. So therefore, IPR systems, despite the limitations that we keep on talking about of IPR systems, innovation to serve the underserved. This is how the sustainable SDGs talk about. And then there are a lot of efforts that the international community has made. For example, UN system has evolved this technology facilitation mechanism, TFM as we call it. And if you look at some of the things like TRIPS, which are known to be things that perpetuate this division between north and the south. It also talks about, like Article 666 of TRIPS talks about a kind of a collaborative mechanism that needs to be evolved for the purpose of achieving the common goals of sustainable development goals. Friends, therefore, without agreeing with the lot of debatable issues that we have, a safe conclusion that we can draw about IPR is that IPR systems can and do support the mechanism for promoting or strategies for promoting sustainable development goals. Looking into the interlinkages of sustainable development and environment is crucial, because environment is actually the basis on which this entire process has to take place. So this is something that is a common knowledge, that the very idea of sustainability in SDG 2015 has been drawn from environmental movements basically. And if we recall, way back in 1980s, that Brundtland Commission report talked about sustainable development. The kind of an understanding that we have today of sustainable development goals, actually the basic understanding of the expression sustainable is similar as we have in Brundtland Commission. And this sustainable development goals, similar understanding we have. And in fact, it is probably because of this reason that the Paris Accord of 2015 gives sort of space to SDGs. In fact, they are almost parallel documents. If you look at the comparison, there is this great derangements, I think. Amitabh Ghosh has written that So he makes a comparison of all this in the last chapter of the book. Very interesting read if somebody intends to look at the interlinkages of sustainable development goals and the environmental things. Friends, the whole idea of this sustainable development basically is to integrate the role of nature with the development process. And the kind of a balance that sustainable development goals achieve or obtain, because this has always been a very debatable issue as to what is the balance, because generally we talk about in environmental movements that the integration of development and the environment is what constitutes sustainable development. But the way SDGs obtain this balance is something which speaks volumes about its grand design that we have. So the idea is that the sustainable development goals seeks to integrate the natural environment in adapting to climate change and cultivating those resilient ecosystems and so on and so forth. So this is actually part of environmental protection which can lead to the achievement of these goals. Talking about technology and the dominant technologies that we are confronting today, AI systems, artificial intelligence, it would be very interesting to understand the interlinkages between the two. In fact, AI appears to be a double-edged sword, because while it might help us in achieving sustainable development goals, we must not forget that it also presents, what we call in literary language, Sisyphean dilemma to the humanity. And the reason being that AI systems are very energy intensive processes. In fact, there is an estimate that training of one AI model in natural language processing processes consumes as much energy and emits as much carbon as 5 cars in their lifetime produce. It's the kind of a estimate that we have. So, the AI systems are, while they might help us, but they are very energy intensive processes. So this is something we need to remember. Looking at the contribution that AI can make in achieving sustainable development goals, in fact, the kind of data that AI is able to process, because otherwise it is not possible to be handled, the amount of data that it can handle at the same time can have a transformative impact on the management of Earth's resources. And in fact, the satellite images which are powered by AI capabilities these days to design, monitor and evaluate effective policy frame, it can help us in a big way in achieving these sustainable development goals. There is another estimate that without AI systems, if you handle the kind of now frequently occurring natural disasters, it costs us 6 times more in terms of human lives lost and the property lost. Which means that AI can actually save almost 5 out of 6 endangered individuals in natural disaster situations. This is one of the estimates. References I am escaping because the time is obviously small, so we have to take care of that as well. Friends, in fact, there are a lot of AI commons that we are now trying to create, and India is contributing in a big way in doing that. What we call the public stacking of digital goods, or what is being popularly talked about digital public infrastructure that India is creating, which includes, in fact, artificial intelligence as well. In fact, these processes can map and track a lot of current progress that we are making on SDGs, and can identify gaps or reasons or goals that are being underserved and pool resources to address such underserved areas. AI Commons can allow the community of developers, entrepreneurs, users, and organizations to work together to identify and enable broader applications of AI and response to actual needs. Coming to the law and legal frame, and because Law College is organizing it, I must make a reference to it. And we must understand and appreciate it that SDGs actually present that frame which complement international treaties and other tools of international law by producing a globally shared normative framework that help us in achieving these goals and also help us in collaborative processes across countries and jurisdictions. In fact, the 2030 agenda that we are talking about, it stresses throughout the document that the importance of respect for the rule of law and the reaffirmation of commitment to the international law in achieving these sustainable development goals. In fact, law that way at all levels is an instrument of promoting economic and socially inclusive development and environmental sustainability. It seeks to address inequalities. I don't have to explain all this. Preamble itself starts by treating equality as the organizing principle of the Constitution. So this addresses inequalities, promote an inclusive society when the development is both inclusive and integrated, and protect the environment for all forms of degradation and harm. Therefore, it can safely be said that law basically works as an enabler and facilitator of development that is both inclusive and integrated, and it also actually involves all the dimensions of sustainable development goals. In this context, one thing that always can be articulated, and some of my friends may be talking about the nature of this law, which is emerging in the form of soft law. But we need to appreciate and understand that almost the entire frame of international law, at least the majority of it, is a soft law form. And in fact, even if we look at, say, national laws or national law frame that we have, they are all actually emerging in the form of, softer formats, in the sense, the law is not exactly a black letter law, but more, kinds of flexible and negotiable process. The kind of change process that we had from CDM to INDCs, the environmental colleagues who deal with environmental sciences and environmental law, they will appreciate that the way we have shifted at the international level from clean developmental mechanism processes, strategies, to independently nationally determined contributions is just another indicator that the hard law during these days doesn't work that way. So therefore, this is not a limitation as far as evolving legal frame for the achievement of sustainable development goal is concerned. Friends, I believe that this kind of a brainstorming that is happening here on variety of strategies and methodologies for achieving sustainable development goals is going to contribute tremendously to the debate. And if possible, I would recommend that if these recommendations could be consolidated and shared with NITI Aayog, that could be wonderful. Because NITI Aayog actually has created a separate window for SDG, processes. So we can actually share this entire thing. I once again take this opportunity. I have already taken my due time to once again put on record my sincere gratitude. Thanks to the organizers of the conference. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words which throw light on SDG with reference to IPR, technology and legal aspects, and also the status of India's journey towards achieving it by the year 2030. We are privileged to have such distinguished personalities among us. Thank you, sir.
Today, we have with us our guest of honor, Dr. D.P. Unial, Joint Director, UCOST. Dr. Unial has more than 25 years of research, teaching, and administrative experience in the field of science and technology. He has published 5 books, 58 research papers in national and international journals, as well as written 8 popular articles. Currently at UCOS, Dr. Unial is in charge of Regional Science Center, externally funded projects, science popularization, and NASI UK chapter. Dr. Unial has received Young Scientist Award, Silver Medal by Ministry of Youth Affairs, Government of India, and Best State Exhibition Coordinator in 100 Science Congress, Kolkata, and is well-known expert in fish taxonomy and worked in various ecosystems of the country. Sir, I would like to call upon for your address. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a proud privilege for me to be here. And first of all, I'd like to congratulate all the organizers for organizing this important event, because in many forums we discuss in isolation. But when we organize a national conference, then we give opportunities to young ones, particularly students, to understand what, as Professor delivered such a wonderful lecture on SDGs, about the innovation promotion. It's very important that these types of organized seminars should be organized time to time, so that the students particularly, because we get ample of opportunity to discuss in national, international and state forum. But yes, it is important for younger generation to understand, because you will be the teacher, innovator, administrator, maybe whatnot. So I request all of you to please be attentive and listen them, because they are having the 40-50 years of experience, and that 40-50 years of experience they are sharing for 20-25 minutes. But I request you to please ask as many as questions, because whenever you will ask foolish question, what you think, it will be very important for your life, maybe life turning sometime. I still remember when I was doing my masters, that time Professor A. Purohit Saab, he was that time Vice Chancellor of Garhwal University, from where I did my masters. I asked a very foolish question about that time the green bonus was there. It's lot of issues were there for a green bonus. Then I asked him, sir, how to calculate that green bonus? Then he says, I need a day to explain you. But in nutshell, he tried to explain me how they give the weightage to that, and how the government of India is debating on that. And luckily, when I appeared for my zoological survey, before joining UCOST, I was in Zoological Survey of India. Expert asked the same questions. So I was having a better idea at that time. So I request all the youngers here to ask a silly question. Maybe that question will be helpful to you one day. So with these words, I again congratulate all the organizing committee for choosing this important topic, because nowadays this is very important. If we see historical countries, they have put a science and technology in forefront. So due to that reason only they are developed, and they are superpowers. If you see way back in 18th century or 17th century, or these countries are very poor. Their condition is very bad, very pathetic. If you see the history, then they realize that yes, technology is the area where we can move ahead, and we can be a superpower, or we can increase our economy. So People Science Movement is there in US. They started a People Science Movement, scientific temper. So this says that a person, those who are our living over here, they should understand the importance of typically either they are doing horticulture, agri, and they will do that thing smartly. And due to that reason only, now they are developed countries. And third world countries, Asian countries, now we are realizing that we should put science and technology in forefront, and then only we can move ahead. With this, India is also taking a lead on this direction. We are fortunate enough for last 1 decade. We have seen that science and technology, being as a science and technology practitioner for last 20 years, I have seen a change in that, change in mindset also, change in every aspect, because I used to go regularly in RAC or many research institute across the country, DST and all. So I've seen that now this area, science and technology, we ask you how many patents you have done or how many IP you have generated. Your one patent is equal to your equity. Question is why IP? Means IP is a big area. Intellectual property right. So Hindi में बौद्धिक संपदा अधिकार कहते हैं. Lot of components are there. Patent is one of them. So people get accused that IP means patent only. No. IP means 9 areas. Patent is one part of that. Then you are having copyright, trademark, trade secret, GI, geographical indicator. We give this protection to a society. For example, in recently our in Munchiari area is from this place only. So you have to document that, and then we should have some society. So we don't give the younger generation need to understand this, because future lies on all this. If you do patenting, if you do copyright, lot many research institutes located. Have you heard of Stanford University? They are having the biggest medical equipment center over there. It's purely run by private companies, and the students they use run the student used to run, and they are having the faculty members mentoring them. So they are earning billions of dollars out of all these small products. They are developing smart stunts. They are developing smart agriculture equipments, basically pro base for horticulture monitoring for defense purposes. And this is one of the best example. Please go through that through Google. You can understand what all they are doing. They are doing a wonderful job. And the best thing is, industry is a part of that. Industry academia partnership. If you want to see the best example is Stanford. So go through this, and maybe here also in India, because if we want something, we want good products, then definitely industry has to be a part of that. And then UCOST, we are trying our best to put all the industry partners with universities or yes, even they have put all these 17 different parameters together and given us a pathway to follow, because globally all the countries they are following this, and India is also on way to follow this, and by 20 not simple to deal with, because we need to understand that what is the approach, and the student can get an opportunity to understand the science also. If you want to continue arts also, you can go there, and then you can study commerce also together. So all the subjects expert now should come together and give a better solution. I'll look when we give the funding to research institutes, we see how this particular have them to all and have innovation is concerned globally. Other countries are doing. Previously, year back, we were in 81st position out of 130 countries. So and can you believe which country is the first in innovation index? Any wild guesses? Switzerland. And Switzerland is the first in innovation. Also, he says in Switzerland we are having Mount Atlas and some of more nearby areas, but the same time you are having the Gangetic Plain, you are having Himalayas, sub-Himalayas and trans-Himalayas areas. So in all that area you can grow your tourism, but yes, innovation, promotion and technology is needed, much more better facilities for the tourists, so that you can, so that we can have a tourist across the globe. So yes, we need this, that technological intervention, science and technological intervention is needed, and due to that reason only my organization, I belongs to UCOST, Uttarakhand Council for Science and Technology. We are the nodal agency of Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. And just brief background about these councils, because if maybe some fellows from across the India is here, every state having Science and Technology Council, and these are mandatory from Government of India to have a Science and Technology Council in their respective state. And these councils plays important role with not only with science and technology department, with universities, institutes and grassroots level or civil societies. So we encourage the technological input. If they require any technological input, we try to give them. We give research input to few thing you should keep in mind, and maybe soon we'll be sanctioning a IPR cell to your university, sir, so that in that we can generate the IP awareness. We are having a lot of scientists, those who are dealing with IP, and IP is an area where the future lies. As Dr. Bhaguna and sir from Indraprasth very rightly pointed out, that IP is an area where science students, law students, commercial students, they can come up and they can join IP issues in a different way. You can be an attorney, because Government of India every year organize written examinations, and then if you pass it, you become an attorney, and then you deal with the issues like infringement in IP or patents, trademark, like this. So this is one of the best career, and then further you can get a scholarship every year from India. 50 odd students got selected in WIPO free of cost, and then you do your 1 year program over there, and then they further you can do the masters also if you excel there. So please go through the WIPO website, you will get opportunity, and online also you can do the program, certificate programs. So this is the area where you can build up your future. Beside this, as I told you that in UCOST we are having an innovation cell, and we are having a regional science center. That innovation cell is supported by Ministry of Culture and Department of Science and Technology. Students can come and use of that innovation cell. Minimal year fee is there, but just 1,000, and you can come on daily basis or either on weekends. We are having a lot of mentors over there. You can understand about the recent science, that AI, VI, and all this thing, Pythons and all. Our experts are there. They take care, and will understand, make you understand about all that, and you can do the hands-on activities also there. So, and I am also happy to announce that soon our this regional science center is coming up as a 5th science city of the country. So participants from outside Uttarakhand can visit our regional science center. We are having a state-of-the-art regional science center over there. So you can see how we are having a 4-5 different galleries, and one of the best or the only exhibited, well exhibited about the Himalayan origin from starting to and climate change. So you can visit there, you can get benefit out of there. See, one thing very important, that if we understand in India, we are promoting innovation, but if we see that in recent time, in COVID time, we are forced to develop some vaccines. Bharat Tech developed that vaccine, although they are not being able to match up all the protocols. But yes, when we don't get an opportunities that time, because recently Dr. Vijay Bhatkar was here with us in council. He says when we didn't get the technology from Russia regarding the supercomputers, then we started our own technology and we developed the Param computer, supercomputer. Like the stories of cryogenic engine, you all know that US didn't give us the technology, then we are forced to do that. And in many of our space programs started like that. Dr. Sharma will agree with me that we are the developed country there didn't give us the technology, and then our scientists put their brain together, and now we are very proud that recently Chandrayaan and all, not many things we are doing in a very small budget. So it's all that sometimes if you don't get an opportunity, don't get a facility from other countries or didn't get technology, it's a big opportunity for us to achieve. So I think innovation promotions is another area. Recently I was in Wildlife Institute of India, like these days they are doing their annual seminar. For wildlife management they need instruments for monitoring the wildlife, because early warning systems and all, madam will agree with me, because for wildlife management still we are using the crude methods and all. So although the camera trap and all these things are there, but yes, globally if we see they are using different methods and indigenous technologies we need for wildlife management, for water management basically, and for agriculture practices. Another is developing the instruments where pro-based instruments for best agriculture practices, smart practices. Recently Dr. Sharma is there, he developed a pro-based in paddy field. Right now we don't require that much of water. We find out scientifically that unconventionally we put lot of water, due to that many times this pest they get developed and crop got destroyed. So probe based technology means that probe will tell us that this much water we need right now and this much water should be filled. So we will to save our water also, and our crop will not get damaged also. So likewise in horticulture field also we need smart systems, we need for water technology, we need smart system. So ample of opportunities are there, dear faculty members and students, ample of opportunities for you to develop these instruments, these technologies, these software which will be protected under IP, and if you are able to generate your IP, you can start your own startups. Now Government of India giving lot of opportunities, lot of seed money to start all this business. So I am confident that in 2 days all these issues will be discussed in length, and I request that IP issue should be discussed in length, because this is the important area. If we understand the IP issue, then innovation promotion will be quite easy. So I wish all the best to all the faculty members present here, all the persons who came across the country, and dear students, are you committed? Are you committed for innovation promotion? Yes, sir. So I request you again to visit UCOST, and whatever we can provide best of from our side, we will be doing so. So thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. Your insightful address on IPR is surely going to help the audience present over here. They'll avail the opportunity to work in the field of IPR.
Today, we are proud to have amongst us the chief guest of this event, Dr. Renu Singh, IFS, Director of Forest Research Institute, Dehradun, a premier forestry research institution with over 100 years of legacy. She is also a member of Indian Forest Service, having over 30 years of working experience in different capacities in Forest Department of the Government of Madhya Pradesh and the Government of India. She is also the recipient of Commonwealth Scholarship for PhD in Gender and Development from the University of Wales, United Kingdom. Dr. Singh has a rich experience and expertise in the field of climate change and forest management, community forestry, forest-based livelihoods, and gender. She has worked as project investigator and national coordinator to forestry issues, besides publishing presentations at various research forums as distinguished speaker. She has been an Indian representative in forests, biodiversity and climate change negotiations at United Nations bodies like UNFCCC, UNCCD and UBD, and played a key role in organizing a number of capacity building programs in the field of climate change, forest management and environmental conservation. May I take the privilege and the honor to welcome you, ma'am, to address the intellectual gathering present over here.
Shri Jiten Joshi, Chancellor, Uttaranchal University, Dr. Sarbir Sehgal, Vice President, Uttaranchal University, Professor Dharam Buddhi, Vice Chancellor, Uttaranchal University, Dr. V.P. O'Neill, Joint Director, UCOST, Professor Amarpal Singh, Dean University, School of Law and Legal Studies, Dean Law College, Dehradun, Uttaranchal University, all at InnoSustain 2020. The very essence of our collaborative journey towards innovation and a nexus for collaboration, strategize our time pursuit of sustainable development. As we did a global commitment to transform our world by addressing a wide range of issues are not needed. Achieving the SDGs in the dimensions of gender equality, peace, justice, strong institutions and reduced inequalities requires a comprehensive and holistic legal approach. These legal dimensions are not separate. Laws and institutions are the tools that can help us build a world where justice, equality, and peace prevail. Speaking of legal frameworks, one cannot underestimate the crucial role of intellectual property rights in developing the sustainable development goals, as it was very rightly pointed out by many speakers before me. And particularly in the context of innovation, infrastructure, and other developments in the current world. We can say that intellectual property rights, including patents, trademarks, and copyrights, all these things incentivize innovation by granting creators and inventors exclusive rights to their products, to their creations. This protection encourages individuals and organizations to invest in research and development, leading to new technologies, products, and processes that can improve infrastructure and develop industrial capabilities. I can see here lot many students are attending this conference, and right now I'm standing in this university where I can see our youth, our future is there in front of us. And I must say that youth plays a significant role in promoting sustainable development and serves as an influential catalyst for societal transformation, economic advancement, and technical breakthrough. The SDGs framework provides an excellent opportunity to young law graduates and professionals to directly contribute to better social and environmental future and expanding justice access for people and communities around the world. As we gather here, let us not forget that clock is ticking. The challenges we face are urgent and the consequences of inaction are profound. Climate change is accelerating, inequality is widening, and the health of our very planet is at stake. Our commitment to the SDGs must be unwavering and our actions must be bold and transformative. InnoSustain 2023 conference is an opportunity, a call to action, and a reminder that we all have tools, knowledge, and the innovation at our disposal to change this very world. Let this event be a source of inspiration and collaboration, where we share ideas, forge collaborations, and commit to taking action. Dr. Uttaranchal from UCOST, he has already extended a lot of collaborative opportunities, and in Forest Research Institute, Dehradun, also, I can tell you that our scientists and researchers are also engaged in developing modern technologies, innovations in the field of forestry, be it climate change related issues in the field of forestry or ecological and monitoring of impact of ecology on our forest and dependent communities or phytochemical analysis of important forestry species or agroforestry. A lot of innovative work is going on, and I also extend my proposal for collaboration with the Uttaranchal University, and we are also having FRI deemed to be university, where students of Uttaranchal University can have the opportunity to visit and take up some thesis work or some research project. And I assure you that our scientists, they will guide this young generation in a beautiful way. So all of you are very welcome to FRI Dehradun. So let us use and live InnoSustain 2023 with a renewed sense of purpose, a commitment to innovation, and a determination to achieve the SDGs. Together, we can build a world where no one is left behind, where prosperity is shared, and where the planet, our very own planet, thrives. Goals and we should also be very sure that this journey will be fulfilled with utmost zeal, enthusiasm and hope. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your encouraging words and shedding light on the areas of legal framework, climate change, etc., and also kindling the youth to be robust and take an active part in promoting SDG. We are certain that your insights and wisdom will contribute greatly to the success of this event. Thank you, ma'am.
अब मैं मंच पर आमंत्रित करना चाहूंगी इस संगोष्ठी के उद्घाटन समारोह के अध्यक्ष श्री जितेंद्र जोशी सर जी को। सर, आप हमारे मार्गदर्शक ही नहीं बल्कि हमारे प्रेरणा स्रोत भी हैं। सर का दूरदर्शी नेतृत्व व आत्मविश्वास ही उनकी पहचान है।
आदरणीय FIP VC रेणु सिंह जी, डॉक्टर रेणु सिंह जी, जो कोर्स के निदेशक डॉक्टर VP निहाल जी, हमारे सहयल साहब, VC साहब, भवना जी, देश के विभिन्न राज्यों से आए शिक्षकों व बच्चों, उत्तराखंड विश्वविद्यालय में आपका स्वागत है। बहुत देर हो गई है बच्चों, थके तो नहीं? काफी देर से बच्चे जो है बैठे हैं चुपचाप, बहुत बढ़िया। मैं आपको एक चीज बताता हूँ, आज हम लोग इसका बहुत दिल से प्रोविसी साहब का, फैकल्टी मेंबर का, छात्रों का स्वागत करते हैं। 2-3 साल पहले की बात है कि मैं भवना जी से, फैकल्टी मेंबर से कहता था, लॉ वालों से, कि कुछ पेपर निकाल लो, पेटेंट कर लो। तो जैसे कोई खूबिया होता है किसी को ना, ये सब लोग डर के हमारे कहते थे पेपर होता क्या है। मैं बार बार समझाता था भवना जी, फिर मैंने भवना जी को जिंदल यूनिवर्सिटी, कई यूनिवर्सिटी, लॉ यूनिवर्सिटी भी पेपर निकाल रहे हैं और इतने पेपर इन्होंने निकाले, इतने निकाले। लेकिन आज मुझे खुशी है कि लॉ कॉलेज पेटेंट के मामले में बहुत अच्छा चल रहा है, पेपर में बहुत अच्छे आ रहे हैं। 70-80 पेपर निकल रहे हैं और 2 बच्चियां हैं हमारी लॉ की है, जो वो तो 50 पेपर 40 पेपर लिख देती है। तो ये बहुत बड़ी उपलब्धि है लॉ के लिए। और में तो पेपर आते ही थे, अक्सर सब में पेपर आते रहते थे। मैं देखता था फिजिक्स में आ रहे, केमिस्ट्री में आ रहे, एग्रीकल्चर में आ रहे, कंप्यूटर साइंस में आ रहे। लेकिन जैसे बहुत चुने हैं, मास कॉम है, होटल मैनेजमेंट है, लॉ है, इसमें मैं कभी पेपर ज्यादा देखता नहीं था। और जब हम नेक में भी जाते तो हमें लगता था कि यार ये पॉइंट हमारा कमजोर है। लेकिन आज मैं ये देख कि आज लॉ कॉलेज भी उनकी बराबरी कर रहा है और डिपार्टमेंट की, इसलिए आप लोग बनाए की बात करो। और ये मैं आप बच्चों से ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि देखो, आप लोगों की यूनिवर्सिटी पूरी डेवलप हो चुकी है, स्ट्रक्चर बन चुका है, सब कुछ है आपके पास। अब वक्त आ गया है रिसर्च का। रिसर्च से ही पहचान होगी आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी की। जब जहाँ ज्यादा रिसर्च होता है वही पहचान होती है। क्योंकि पहले हम लोग लगे रहे बिल्डिंग बनाने में, 1 बिल्डिंग 2 बिल्डिंग बना दी, पूरा स्ट्रक्चर तैयार हो गया है। अब हम लोगों का फोकस होना चाहिए रिसर्च में, पेटेंट में, प्रोजेक्ट लाने में, नई चीजें जो करने में। तो मैं आप लोगों को सबको बधाई देता हूँ, बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं, धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद सर आपके मार्गदर्शन के लिए। नाउ आई वुड लाइक टू रिक्वेस्ट डॉक्टर पूनम रावत, प्रिंसिपल एंड हेड लॉ कॉलेज देहरादून, टू प्रपोज अ वोट ऑफ थैंक्स।
Thank you, ma'am. Greetings to all. It's my honor and privilege to propose vote of thanks on behalf of Law College Dehradun, Uttaranchal University and Organizing Committee of InnoSustain Conference. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you who have graced this event by their presence in offline as well as an online mode. It's my proud privilege to extend my heartiest thanks to the President of Inaugural Session and Chancellor of Uttaranchal University, Shri Jitendra Joshi, for his visionary leadership and untiring support. Thank you, sir. My sincere thanks to Dr. Renu Singh, Director and Vice Chancellor, FRI, Deemed University, Dehradun. Ma'am, your presence added immense value and prestige to this conference. Thank you, ma'am, for making this conference a truly memorable and enriching experience for all of us. My heartiest thanks to Professor D.P. Unyal, who accepted our invitation and graced the event with his benign presence. Thank you, sir. My heartfelt gratitude to Vice President Professor Sadbir Sehgal for his constant endeavor and oversight for the event. My deepest thanks to Vice Chancellor Professor Dharan Buddhi, as Sir always encourages for the research and innovation and always support us in doing so. Thank you, sir. My heartfelt thanks to Professor Amar Parsing. Sir, your insightful knowledge not only provided us with invaluable knowledge but also ignited our imagination and stimulated thoughtful discussion. Thank you, sir. My deepest thanks to Professor Rajesh Bahuna, Pro Vice Chancellor and Dean Law College Dehradun, for his unconditional support and encouragement. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank all chairs, especially Sharma ma'am and Pawar sir, as well. I also like to convey my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Pradeep Suri, Dr. Jacola sir, as well as Professor Shravan Kumar sir as reviewer. Sir, you all have graced the event with your presence. Thank you, sir. I would also like to thank all the participants online as well as offline mode across the country, without whom this event would have not been possible. My thanks to technical team of the auditorium who are working untiringly to make this inaugural session as a success. My sincere thanks to media persons also. Last but not the least, my heartfelt thanks to organizing committee and all the volunteers of different students committees, as the credit goes to them, as they put hard work and work day and night for this particular event. Thank you once again. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. We believe this conference will not only broaden your knowledge, but also leave you inspired, motivated, and ready to contribute to a brighter future. It would also serve the objective to find the pathways for achieving sustainable development goals through IPR and various academic disciplines, and serve as a driver for stimulating the appropriate actions with the help of academicians, researchers, industry experts, and students from us. Sustainable development is paving the way to conserve and enhance natural resources by replacing the manner of development and the use of technology. Sustainable development is not always associated with technology. Simple, sustainable strategies incorporated into our day-to-day activities also go a long way in boosting sustainable development. So let us try to get back to certain age-old practices and mechanisms with pride and dignity. Thank you one and all gathered over here.
Now, I would request all of you to rise up for national anthem.
This is the end of the inaugural session, and now I request the dignitaries to proceed for lunch, and the participants are requested to wait for a short briefing.